यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे.
Good morning, my dear loving children. I would be using some of the idioms today. These are called body idioms. Anything pertaining to body. The idioms which pertains or relates to certain parts of the body. For instance, keep your mind or use your mind. Use your mind. What does that signify? Use your mind does not simply connote literal meaning of course, we say that anything you do, you should apply yourself. Now the idiom is use your mind. Now you are applying for the fresh loan. Have you cleared the previous loan? Use your mind here. Otherwise, you might fall in the debt trap. That is the idiom. Idiom is use your mind. So, you have to be very careful. And this is the most frequently used idiom. So, you should be using quite often. This is very handy and very practical. Use your mind. You might find very uncomfortable sometimes to choose the right kind of explanation while you are trying to explain something, what to use, how to use, So the idiom is use your mind. Next is keep your chin up. Maybe that you fall and then you again try, but somebody falls and he gets disheartened. Somebody appears in the examination, takes certain attempts and he fails. But it doesn't mean that you are going to fail always. There is no need to be desperate. There is no need to be exasperated or exhausted. It is said, keep your chin up. Okay, there is always next time. So the next one is, keep your chin up. This is your chin. Keep your, what happened? When we are down in morale, we put our head down. So come on, there is no need to put your head down. You have to keep your chin up. So if you put your head down, chin has to go down. So what is conveyed in the idiom is keep your chin up. There is always next another one will come along. There is another chance. There is always next chance, golden chance for you. So maybe something is what is time this time. Next time it would be sure the success. Keep your lip about it. We are going to get the success, but this thing has not to be disclosed before we unearth in public. So, I told you before also, in the normal idioms, the facilitator, keep your lip. When you fasten your seat belts, then you zip it. When you unfasten, then you unzip it. So, what is keep your lip? Keep your lip about it. This is not to be disclosed. This has to be kept very secret. Keep quiet. Don't tell anybody. So the idiom is keep your lip about it. Don't tell anything to anyone. So it's very, very convenient for anyone. Once you understand its meaning, it becomes very good facilitator for you to use it quite often than not. Next is on the nose. The presentation will begin at 8 o'clock. On the nose. Precisely. Not even 1 second late or earlier. On the nose. On the time. Precisely. Don't miss it. We in India have normal, we often say this is a normal Indian standard. If somebody says meeting shall start at 8 o'clock, they have tendency to reach at 9 o'clock. Chalta hai. But on the nose. The meeting set will start at 8 o'clock on the nose. Precisely on the time. Dot on the time. So just remember, on the road. On the nose. precisely at about 8 o'clock. There is no question of delay. All eyes and ears attentive. Look at what is being communicated to you with your all eyes and ears. You know, some soldiers are going on some secret missions. So the commander passes the order. My dear soldiers, look at the commands with all eyes and ears. Keep your eye open for the instructions and ears extra cautiously open, so that any instructions and the clarity regarding instructions are well communicated by the officer commanding and well understood by the recruits or by the soldier who is going on mission. See eye to eye. अब कहते हैं कि I don't see eye to eye. Still, we maintain cordial relation as long as family matters are concerned. बातचीत नहीं होती है. If somebody do not talk with one another, what is the idiom which is going to be used? I don't see him eye to eye. You know, eye to eye, eyeball to eyeball. I don't see him eye to eye. You must have come across many situations when you have some kind of altercation with your friend, and maybe for a while, maybe for the short duration, you don't see him eye to eye. So the idiom is, I don't see him eye to eye. Still, we have some casual relation. So you can use it in any sense. But eye to eye, agree. I may not agree. I don't see him eye to eye. I do not agree. Baby blues. You know, as I gave you examples of Devanand in few lectures back, baby blues are used. Baby blues, B-A-B-Y-B-L-U-E-S, baby blues. Very smart. Etymologically, it is considered, it is used for those whose eyes are hazel eyes, blue eyes. Very smart. Who can miss the opportunity to marry with a man who is having baby blues and who are baby blues? These are normally persons who are considered to be very smart and out of the crowd, something extraordinary. Not intellectually, but physical pulchritude, as long as the physical pulchritude is concerned. How can I miss the opportunity? You know, somebody is asked, some female asked about a man, why are you so fascinated about that gentleman? I would go any mile to be fascinated by John Arthur. He is a baby blue. So that kind of description is used. All ears, listening willingly. When information about India rising is being communicated, I think most of the Indian populations are listening to our Prime Minister with all ears. And why that? Even when Mann Ki Baat is broadcasted, entire population, I think majority of Indian population, they listen to him with all ears, very attentively. So all ears is an idiom which is a very normal and usual facilitator used very frequently. So you have to remember all ears. We should be in class with all ears, very attentive in the class. Sometimes I have seen children, their mind somewhere else and body in the class. So this kind of scenario cannot be said that children are listening to the lectures of the teachers with all ears. No, because their mind is somewhere else. When your mind and body really converges with what is being taught in the class, that scenario would be called children are listening to the lecture with all ears. So the idiom is all ears. Lend an ear. You must have seen on the stage somebody comes for any kind of performance. Speak making, you must have seen. Lend your ear please. Here comes your favorite Anup Jaluta or Pankaj Udas or XYZ, whosoever that might be in that respective era. But the word remains same. The facilitator, the idiom, lend your ear, L-E-N-D, lend an ear or your ear. It is one and the same. Lend an ear. हिंदी में बोलते हैं देवियों सज्जनों कृपया ध्यान दें. The same idiom is in English. Lend an ear, please. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and comrades, here comes one of the greatest spokespersons of the world, one of the most melodious singer, Didi, Lata Mangeshkar, on this stage. Lend an ear, please. So that is the beauty. Lend an ear has different kind of beautifications of construction of sentences depending upon the scenario where you are going to use it. So lend an ear. In a heartbeat, immediately, I would accept the proposals in a heartbeat, immediately. How can I do that? Somebody, maybe some Ramanorayo Hospital doctor was given an opportunity that you have been conferred a research fellowship award from some American university. The doctor said, would you accept that? He said, yep, of course. I would accept it in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Immediately. As soon as this offer has been extended, he or she accept it. So that is called immediately. In a heartbeat. At hand. I like to keep my vocabulary at hand, nearby. This is precisely what I have been talking for so many years. At hand. Suppose if you want to speak very fluently, but you are falling short of the word. So where from you will choose the word. And this is not a kind of crop that you are going to reap at a time when you want to something to. You have to be really handy. You have to be really prepared well in advance. So you have to have vocabulary at a hand. Now, if I say, what kind of planning do you prognosticate? Well, if you don't know the meaning of the word prognosticate, how can you answer it? So you either be silent or you like to evacuate from the proceeding itself. So you must know what is the meaning of prognosticate. I told you before also, let me clarify once again. Prognosticate means augur, A-U-G-U-R, augur. Prognosticate means forecast. How can I prognosticate something good or bad about you? It is your own efforts which will carry you forward. So that is also prognosticating about the future of one, depending upon the kind of perspiration combined with the inspiration that he or she endows with. If you do it successfully, well-planned manner, the results shall be yours. So I can prognosticate about a very successful career for the children who have been showing great results right from the beginning. So you have to keep at hand. What at hand? You must keep vocabulary at hand. That is the only door to keep you always motivated, elated, rejuvenated and reinvigorated. See how many words I have used. And these words are coming to my subconscious mind. These are already stored in my subconscious mind. So when I use these words simultaneously, it impels me just like, what is called check valve. One word, and if you know its synonyms, antonyms, fatafat. Second word, third word, fourth word, it comes automatically. So it depends what kind of words, the vocabulary you have at hand. At hand. Out of hand. Out of control. You must have come across some of the complaints about some of the employees. He's totally, incorrigible. This word is often used in the school life also. I have seen some of the principals complaining to the parents, your son is out of control. His incorrigibility has made us helpless. I can't help you out. We solicit your cooperation. Without your cooperation, I feel totally helpless. I'm afraid. I can't help your child. He is out of control. So these idioms might look very simpler, but these solves very complicated work. Very complicated solution can be made out by remembering these idioms, which I have called it facilitator. Facilitator. It facilitates your speaking prowess. Like the back of her hand. This is back of my hand. How do you know Italy? Oh, no. I have gone to Florence, I have gone to, different parts of Rome. It appears as if these places are known to me at back of my hand. Very well known, very well acquainted with the place or any situation also. So sin or scenario or things or happenings to the place known to somebody very, very confidently, very clearly, that is called like the back of the hand. Very well. Which district you stay in? Somebody asks you, have you ever seen that district? Maybe that gentleman don't know your background. You say, I know Patna, I know Delhi, like back of my hand. Means that every nook and corner has been traveled by me, either on foot or by auto rickshaw or by scooter, bicycle, by car. So I know the place like back of my hand. Lend me a hand. Suppose your grandma, your dadi, she is doing some work, and suddenly you go very affectionately, you call her, Mama, Grandma, can I lend you a hand? क्या मैं आपकी मदद कर सकता हूँ? And you must have seen on railway station some old lady, octogenarian. She just about to alight from the train, and you lend your hand to help her, help someone out. This is called lend me a hand. Hands down, obviously. The best students at the university, hands down, he was the best students of the university. I still remember in my time, there were some of the students who were best speakers in Mukherjee Memorial. Hands down, he is the best student. As far as Mukherjee Memorial is concerned, hands down, he was the best student. He was one of the best spokesperson of his time. Hands down means totally confident, hands down. Pointed the finger at, blame. A tragedy occurs and somebody starts prodding finger at somebody. That is called pointed fingers at, blaming. Don't point fingers at someone. Try to introspect in yourself, in your soul. Because see, ladies and gentlemen, nobody wants to be blamed himself. Everybody wants to say that, somebody else was responsible for the felony or misdemeanor. It was not me. I didn't do that. Something happened because of that. Nobody wants the responsibility. Gone are the days when there was a single accident, our railway minister or the minister concerned of the department, they used to resign on moral ground. But morality has gone dead long back. Nobody owes the responsibility because even the minister's post has been fought very seriously. It is a very hard earned. These days it is earned, not commanded on their sheer honesty. So say, why should I resign? So the fingers, they point the fingers at somebody else, blame somebody else. Nobody wants to take the blame on himself. Okay, now the next is keep your fingers crossed. When you are not sure, somebody asks you, what will happen? I don't know. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I wish something good luck for me or for you. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. It's very famous. And you must have seen those families, who do not want to speculate on something. They want to be goody-goody. Nobody comes to a point of clarification, a point of certainty. So they will find a very good excuse. And the best way of saying good luck, they will say, my God, I just keep my fingers crossed that you do better in the exam. So it's another way of wishing good luck. What they say? Keep your finger crossed. Keep your fingers crossed. Cooling my heels. You asked me to come at 10 o'clock sharp. but you kept me waiting for 2 hours. अब इसका idioms क्या बोलोगे? You kept me cooling my heels for 2 hours. Kept on waiting नहीं बोलने की जगह क्या बोला जाता है? Cooling my heels for 2 hours. You kept me cooling my heels for 2 hours. So the idiom is cooling my heels. You gave me a time at 10 o'clock to meet at certain point. I was dot 9:50, but you reported sometime around 12 o'clock. So you kept me cooling my heels for almost 3 hours or 2.5 hours. So that is kept me waiting. So just remember, my dear children, kept my waiting, that is the description of the idiom cooling my heels. अब cooling my heels मतलब क्या हुआ? If I am not walking, if you walk, then what happened? If you walk, then your heels will definitely get warmed up. So when you cool your heels, it means what happened? It was lying idle. So you kept on waiting. All thumbs. Don't trust him for the expensive glasswares. He is all thumbs. Very clumsy, very unsophisticated of him. I don't know why he purchases so many, expensive clothes. He does not apply his senses. It's very clumsy of him. All thumbs means all clumsy. Thumbs up, approval. I had my presentation in the office and my boss has given all thumbs up. He has approved of it. In the video also, there is a signal of thumbs down and thumbs up. Thumbs down means disapproval. Thumbs up means likes. That is approved. You liked my video. So that is thumbs up means general approval. Fire in the belly. Very strong ambition. That is also called ravenous. There is a fire in the belly for China to aggrandize its neighbor territorial property. Fire in the belly. Fire, F-I-R-E, fire, belly, B-E-L-L-Y, belly means pit. Fire in the belly. There is always fire in the belly of China to aggrandize neighbors territorial, neighbors territory, you can say that. Fire in the belly. Birthday suit, nakedness. Ab suppose these kind of situations always happen when somebody is in the hostel, mostly in the boys' hostel. Birthday suit. What is birthday suit? It's very fascinating description. Birthday suit. It's not that suit pant that you are imagining. It is nakedness. Suppose you are taking shower in the bathroom and somebody knocks at the door and you come bare body. That is called birthday suit. You were born naked. So when you present yourself in this kind of scenario from your bathroom, that is called, you are not putting even a towel. So that is called birthday suit. B-I-R-T-H, birthday suit. Beat as a fiddle. 3 months ago, he seemed to be at death's door, but now he is fit as a fiddle. What happened? Fit as a fiddle. How could I believe this man was in delirium? He was on a deathbed and now he is fit as fiddle. एकदम तंदुरुस्त. Fit as fiddle मतलब पहले से ज़्यादा मजबूत बन के निकला है, strong बन के बाहर आया है. What's wrong? How was this miracle happen? What was that miracle like? Fit as fiddle. So this is an idiom. The next is 40 wings. If you are on a long drive, it is helpful to stop and take 40 wings. And then you can proceed. Rest for a while. It is not advisable. You must have seen on a long drive the bus conductors, they stop at Hawa. What they are doing? They are stopping for 40 wings. They just take a rest. They take either some tea, some soft drinks, or the simple walk, so that they can, win over the kind of drowsiness. So that is called 40 wings. So my dear loving children, These are the facilitators, the idioms, which of course I would be giving you at the end of it. So you must note it down and try to speak as much as possible. It will be very useful for you to speak faster, better, and very fluently. That fluency will give you a lot of confidence, and that confidence will take you much farther in your life. Thank you very much.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृताम् धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय